From YoungBoy's op dissing his mom and getting gunned down days later, to bloodhound Lil Jeff gunned down on a drill, then his own father threatening to shoot the block up, to Lil Durk's father, once known for running one of the biggest drug operations in Chicago. This is drill rappers and their gangster parents. Lil Durk's father, Big Durk. Big Durk, born Dante Banks Sr., was a well-known street figure in the south side of Chicago long before his son Lil Durk rose to fame. His life story is deeply intertwined with the underworld of Chicago's narcotics scene during the late 1980s and early 1990s, a time when federal crackdowns were ramping up under the so-called war on drugs. Big Durk was respected, feared, and connected. According to several interviews and court records, he was deeply involved in major drug trafficking operations that supplied significant portions of the city. His reputation was known far beyond Chicago, and authorities labeled him as a high-level conspirator in a multi-state drug ring. By the early 90s, Big Durk had become a central figure in a narcotics enterprise responsible for distributing large quantities of white. In 1993, he was arrested by federal agents and charged with conspiracy to distribute over 13 bricks. The case was part of a larger operation involving multiple defendants, and prosecutors painted Big Durk as a top-level player. The charges carried serious weight, and he was ultimately sentenced to life in federal prison without the possibility of parole. Big Durk's arrest and sentencing had a massive impact on his family. Lil Durk was just a toddler when his father was taken away, meaning he grew up without a father figure in the home. Raised mostly by his mother, Durk's early years were shaped by instability, poverty, and the constant weight of his father's absence. In various interviews, Durk has reflected on how the incarceration of Big Durk fueled his own desire to escape the cycle of crime and make a name for himself in music. Inside prison, Big Durk underwent a transformation. He embraced Islam, studied religious texts, and began mentoring younger inmates. He didn't just find faith, he found purpose. According to multiple sources and letters shared by family members, Big Durk used his time behind bars to reflect, reform, and plan for the future. He started advocating for prison reform and became a spiritual guide for many locked up with him. Despite being sentenced to life, he remained hopeful and disciplined. During Barack Obama's presidency, a clemency program was introduced aimed at reducing the sentences of non-violent drug offenders who had been given overly harsh penalties under outdated laws. Big Durk was one of the many who filed for clemency under this initiative. After more than 2 decades behind bars, his sentence was eventually commuted, and he was released in the late 2010s. He reconnected with his son and started appearing more frequently in Lil Durk's public life, especially as Durk himself began to embrace Islam more openly. Big Durk attended Muslim community events, appeared in public prayers, and was seen alongside Durk during peace-building initiatives in Chicago. Their bond, though delayed, grew strong with time. In a 2024 interview, Big Durk addressed Lil Durk's legal troubles and the murder-for-hire case tied to the Quando Rondo shooting. He expressed disappointment, not in his son, but in the system and the betrayal that seems to follow people trying to change.
We would first like to thank everyone for their support, their love, the encouraging words that they gave us as a family. We thank the fans and everyone who stood by us. I leave all legal issues to the lawyers to break that thing, what's dealing with that, the legal issues behind it. As far as the family, as far as me as a father, one thing I can say that it's mighty strange that once he started doing good out there, once he stayed away from all the gangbanging and dissing the dead and doing things out there in the street, when he turned his life around, when he on his deen now, practicing religion, doing things for the community, bringing about peace in Chicago and throughout various cities, all of a sudden now he being indicted.
Someone close to Big Durk had snitched back in the 90s, which led to his life sentence. Now, decades later, someone close to his son was doing the same. It was a painful reminder of how cycles repeat even when the people involved are trying to do better. Big Durk made it clear that he never wanted his son to follow in his footsteps. He often reminded Durk that street loyalty is rarely reciprocated, and that the same friends you feed can be the ones who fold under pressure. When news surfaced that OTF Jam might be cooperating with federal agents, Big Durk was quiet in public but reportedly furious behind the scenes. His life had been ruined by betrayal, and now his son's future was in jeopardy for the same reason. Despite his own past, Big Durk never glamorized street life. Since coming home, he's worked with community leaders and former gang members to advocate for peace and redemption. He's spoken at schools, mosques, and prison re-entry programs. His story is powerful not just because of what he did, but because of how far he came. Lil Durk has often spoken about how his father's absence shaped him. He's also made it clear that his father's return gave him a renewed sense of purpose. The Muslim faith they now share isn't just a religion, it's a way to stay grounded while the world around them spirals. In the Chicago drill scene, where violence is glorified and loyalty is constantly tested, Big Durk's story serves as a warning. He had everything at one point: money, respect, and power. But it wasn't enough to keep him free. He wants Durk and the next generation to see that being a leader doesn't mean being a shooter. It means being smart enough to walk away. He's a man who paid the price for his choices and is now trying to guide others toward a different path. Whether or not his message reaches everyone, it's clear that he's trying. And for Lil Durk, having that guidance, however late it came, might be the thing that saves him from repeating the same story. FBG Duck's mom, LaSheena Weekly, was born and raised in Chicago. Her upbringing wasn't glamorous, but it made her tough. Over the years, she's survived some of the most devastating tragedies any parent could imagine. She's lost 5 children. Not 1, not 2, 5. Each loss carved into her strength, but never broke her spirit. Her most well-known son, FBG Duck, was one of the pioneers of Chicago's flyboy gang and drill music scene. But Duck wasn't her only son involved in the streets. She lost her daughter in a tragic apartment fire. She lost another child during childbirth after shielding her toddlers during a drive-by shooting.
I lost my first child. When I say I lost 5, because I've been pregnant 9 times. God has blessed me with 10 kids, okay? My last set was twins. Brick being the oldest and Leandria being the youngest. So in 92, it was a story when I lost my first child in 1992. I was like 16 to 17 years old. And I stayed in the project, Shine, and I had Jermaine and Sheldon in the park. I think Jermaine was making 2 and Sheldon probably was going on 1. Sheldon was 2 and Jermaine was 2 and Sheldon was 1. But I was pregnant with Javon. It's a drive-by in front of the store, 38th and Cottage Grove. I hear the shots. I dived on them, protecting my 1 and 2-year-old child. That's how I wound up losing my.
In 2007, she accidentally overlaid her 2-month-old baby during a time she was struggling with addiction. And in 2017, she lost another son, FBG Brick, Duck's older brother, who was gunned down alongside his friend Kobe Mack. The death of FBG Duck in August 2020 became national news. He was shot and killed in broad daylight in Chicago's upscale Gold Coast shopping district. At the time, he was reportedly shopping for a birthday present for his son. His murder wasn't random. Prosecutors say it was a planned hit, orchestrated by O-Block members C. Murda, Kenny Mack, Loss, C. Thang, Muwop, and Teezy in response to ongoing gang beef between Duck's STL set and O-Block, which is affiliated with Lil Durk and the Black Disciples. The legal battle, Mama Duck versus Lil Durk and the label. In 2024, Mama Duck filed a massive 229-page federal lawsuit. The defendants? Rapper Lil Durk, the estate of King Von, and multiple record labels including Empire, Interscope, Alamo, and Sony Music. The core of her lawsuit accuses these parties of profiting off gang-related violence and fueling street beef that directly contributed to the death of her son. The lawsuit uses the word profit over 100 times and paints a picture of how the music industry incentivizes real-life violence for sales and streaming numbers. It claims these companies funded and promoted rappers who engaged in violent behavior, and that the diss tracks, music videos, and street affiliations were marketed to make money. At the heart of it, Mama Duck is saying, if you fund the war, market the war, and profit from the war, then you should be held accountable when someone actually dies in that war. But unfortunately for Mama Duck, the lawsuit was later dismissed. Mama Duck's lawsuit doesn't just rely on paperwork. It calls out real lyrics used by Lil Durk in various songs that allegedly reference her son, FBG Duck, in a disrespectful way. In the song Should've Ducked, featuring Pooh Shiesty, Lil Durk raps, "I told my PO through the gate that I get high as f***. She asked me how high do I get, I told her high as duck." This line is seen as a direct reference to FBG Duck, whose name is used as a double entendre to refer to being high. In context, it was widely interpreted as a diss given the timing of the release. And in Backdoor, Durk includes the line, "Niggas act like they really like that since my Brody died. Just got out the feds, you bring up murders with your police ass." Many believe this is aimed at Duck and other members of STL for allegedly cooperating or speaking to the feds after shootings. These lyrics are cited in Mama Duck's lawsuit as part of the industry-wide trend of profiting off criminal activity and loss. What many people don't know is that there's another layer of irony to this story. FBG Duck's father and Lil Durk's father were friends. Both are older men who survived the chaos of Chicago's streets in the 80s and 90s. Duck's father wasn't in the spotlight like Mama Duck, but he was reportedly on a podcast with Big Durk. Lil Durk has since embraced elements of Islam, frequently speaking about it in interviews and on social media. Mama Duck, too, found her way through spirituality. After overcoming drug addiction and the trauma of losing multiple children, she began using her voice to spread messages of peace, accountability, and community healing. Since Duck's death, Mama Duck has been outspoken on YouTube, Instagram, and various interviews. She's called out hypocrisy in the music industry, condemned the street code that glorifies killing, and demanded justice for her son. She's even compared herself to Job in the Bible, calling herself the female Job, a woman tested repeatedly but never broken. Through fires, addiction, death, and grief, she continues to advocate for peace. Lil Jeff's father, Big Jeff. Lil Jeff's dad, Jeffrey Harris, wasn't around much when Jeff was growing up. He was in and out of prison, and for most of Jeff's childhood, he was completely absent. People close to the situation said Jeff never had a strong male figure in his life. Lil Jeff said it in an interview himself, calling his dad bogus.
Whatever the fuck he was, shit, I don't know. We cool now, though. That's my boy, but at that, you know how that shit be, man. He a cool though. I fuck with him.
But say back then he wasn't around.
Say I was acting weird as shit. I was acting bogus. He a cool nigga now, though, man. He be doing what he do.
So how did that affect you back then, though? Not having pops around.
OG stood on business, so, you know, that shit really matter for real.
By the time Jeffrey came back around, Jeff was already deep in the streets. Instead of stepping in as a real father, Jeffrey started acting more like a friend. He would post up with Jeff, take pictures, and try to be one of the guys. Jeffrey Harris used to be from their block. Trap City members confirmed this in an interview when they said Lil Jeff's dad was a good guy from their neighborhood, claiming he wasn't like that.
I found out too that Lil Jeff's father is actually from this hood. So I'm speaking out for like the older age groups. Did y'all have any relationship with Lil Jeff's father when he was active in the streets?
Active in the streets?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I knew of him.
Y'all ain't never had no real relationship?
We got relationships.
Yeah, I talked to Big Jeff, man. Big Jeff be on the A. I used to be down on the A. I talked to Big Jeff.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Like, he put up. We all, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like this old, he wasn't in the streets. I ain't never seen
guy, man. You know, there's a lot going on right now. Motherfucker lost a little one, so that shit hurt. For real, that shit hurt, man.
So he was always like the OG of the streets, y'all would say, when y'all was there?
He was not our OG.
Yeah, no.
What type of person was he in the
Lil
hood?
Jeff father. That's my homie brother.
Meanwhile, Lil Jeff ended up becoming one of the main faces of the Bloodhounds, which eventually became bitter enemies with Trap City. On the day Jeff was gunned down, he was sliding on Trap City. He was sliding with Q50 and T-Slick. Lil Jeff, like every other drill, swung his door open and started blicking at his ops. He chased Trap City Glenn all the way to the porch until Trap City Rob came out and shot him fatally. What made it more twisted is that he died sliding on the same block his father used to rep. After Jeff died, Jeffrey Harris got on Facebook and started posting like he was one of the youngins. He didn't speak like a grieving father. Instead, he tweeted, "And to let it be known, y'all didn't get him. He came trying to get y'all, and what happened, happened." Instead of calling for peace or mourning his son properly, Jeffrey was tweeting like he wanted revenge. It rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Folks said this was a grown man talking reckless on the internet after losing his son, almost like he was proud of the way Jeff went out. In one of the most talked about tweets, Jeffrey said, "But the saga continues, clear the streets." That got reposted all over the place. Some people were saying it was hard, others were saying this was the exact reason why Jeff ended up dead so young. And the wildest part is, Jeff actually talked about his mom witnessing him shoot somebody. In his song Shoulda Saw It, he raps, "I dumped the drac in front my home. My mama saw that shit." It showed just how normal violence had become in his life. Even his own mother had seen it and stayed silent. But when you step back and look at the full picture, it's not hard to see how things spiraled out of control. A kid grows up without a father, ends up in the streets, becomes one of the top sliders for his crew, and dies sliding on the same set his pops once called home. Then the dad, instead of mourning, hops on Facebook and talks crazy. NBA YoungBoy's mom, Sherhonda. Rapper NBA YoungBoy's mom, Sherhonda, grew up in Baton Rouge on 38th Street. Her family been on that street for over 48 years. She said she grew up in a normal black family. Her mom, dad, and siblings were all in the house. But she also saw a lot of street life. Her brothers were in the streets, and she picked up on everything around her. She said she used to help rappers in her hood fix their songs when they couldn't figure out the right words. They'd pay her to come help them in the studio. She had her first child, Telly Gaulden, NBA YoungBoy's sister, at around 22, then had NBA YoungBoy at 25. He grew up without a father, as his father Jeffrey was sentenced to 55 years for a robbery and attempted murder after his brother snitched on him. She said NBA YoungBoy wasn't a bad kid, just active. He had older friends, and he started moving in the streets early. By 8 or 9, he was already getting into stuff. When she found out he was running up to cars in the hood delivering weed, she started leaving him at her mom's house more than her other kids. She said it was safer there. She was working 2 jobs when her kids were little. She dropped them off in the morning, picked them up late at night, and did it again the next day. She wasn't in the streets. She was working and taking care of her kids. She said YoungBoy's grandma helped raise him because she worked so much, but he still lived with her. She always supported her son, even when people online talk crazy. She clapped back on Instagram, telling people not to play with him. NBA YoungBoy used to be a younger member of the set TBG, with his big homie G-Money. G-Money dissed his sister and they started beefing. G-Money was gunned down and another TBG member, Boulevard Quick, dissed Sherhonda and got drilled for it. Quick took the disrespect to another level by going on Instagram Live and aiming wild insults directly at Sherhonda.
Man. Yeah, man. YoungBoy, mom. Tell me shit about that bitch. That bitch eat a big long. I'm talking about so long that go through her and any daughter she ever had. And any daughter she dream about making. Yeah, man. Get out of my and say what she won't say about me. She hollering me. You look like a man, though. You look like a punk. Talking about me. I ain't afraid of. I speaks on everything. Boy, fuck that mama. Play with me first. That.
Sherhonda hopped on Instagram Live and addressed the situation directly. She actually apologized to Quick, saying the only reason she dissed him in the first place was because he had problems with her son.
No, I had woke up this morning. Everybody in my ear about to talk about the little boy Quick was talking about me. But I really got on him to tell him that I'm sorry. I came to tell little Boulevard Quick that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I made you cry, boo. For real. Because I wasn't being mean. Like, somebody was on my thing, like I'm reading now, and somebody said, somebody hit me his little friend. So I said, fuck him his friend. Because I'm like, I feel like anybody that don't like my children. And that's how I am. If you don't like my children, fuck y'all. I wasn't being mean or mess or nothing. And then I saw him on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, crying yesterday about, his mama put my name in her mouth, and that's fucked up, and I swear to God, man, she better keep my name out her mouth. I'm sorry, boo. I'm sorry I put your name in your mouth because I saw you crying. She looked like a man. She ugly. She got man features. I'm sorry, boo. I'm sorry for talking about you because you look like a ball. You got round features, boo. I'm sorry. She want to be a comedian so bad. She want to be a rapper so bad. I'm sorry I made you cry. For real. I don't know you, boo. I don't. I'm sorry. I was just saying whoever don't like my churn. I wasn't just saying, trying to be mean or messy. They be on my thing, talking about you, saying you said this and that. And so that's why I said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you just said us plenty of days. I ain't trying to be mean. I wasn't trying to be mean. Like, for real, though. Like, for real, I'm a mama. Anybody that don't like my churn. And anybody who don't like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you personally, because I don't know you. I do not know you. So, go ahead and, I said I'm sorry on live in front of everybody. So now you can go back to a grocery store and make you some more little videos.
But the backhanded apology for Sherhonda meant nothing. Not long after the live sessions and continued disses, Boulevard Quick was gunned down outside of his apartment complex around midnight. The hit came fast and clean, and rumors immediately started flying that it was retaliation for the things he said online, especially about YoungBoy's mom. After this incident, YoungBoy seemed to confirm it when he dropped the song Impact and rapped, "Spoke on my mama, I ain't wanna talk, I end up killing a." It was clear YoungBoy wasn't tolerating this respect, and Quick paid the price for it. The craziest part is before he was gunned down, he joined YoungBoy's live, and YoungBoy was telling Quick he remembered what he said about his mom.
I ain't tripping. Fuck my mama. I ain't see that. It's a joke, huh? Pussy bitch. So, I'm a hoe. You hear me? Don't mix my rap life with my music life. I am pure pussy.
This shows the loyalty YoungBoy has for his mom. Sherhonda is known for keeping it real online. She said fans always try to troll her, but she doesn't care. She'll roast them right back. She said if someone make you feel bad, make them feel bad too. That's how she raised her kids. She taught them to stand up for themselves and not let people play with them. She also said she let her boys do what they want, but was harder on her daughter. When asked why, she said men can be out here and it's not a big deal. But when women do the same thing, they get judged. She said it's always been like that. YoungBoy mentioned her in his song, Lonely Child, when he raps, "I call Monique my mama, but Lord knows I need Sherhonda. I don't need no commas, I'm feeling like I'm going under." It made her feel good, but she didn't make it a big deal. She said they were just regular people. One line that hit fans was in Home Ain't Like Home, when he rapped, "I think I'm stuck up in the streets, still got my mama, but I'm still looking for my grandma love." YoungBoy grew up with his grandma a lot, so when she passed away, YoungBoy felt it. And it's safe to say he misses his grandma's love. When people online tried to clown YoungBoy for painting his nails or wearing face paint, Sherhonda shut that down too. She said that's not a big deal, and people always looking for something to talk about. She don't let trolls bother her. Polo G's mom, Stacia Mack, rapper Polo G's mom, Stacia Mack, didn't just raise a rapper. She helped build one. Before the fame, before the billboard hits, it was her behind the scenes, putting in work. She was Polo's mom, but she was also his manager. Stacia Mack was solid at first. She was doing interviews, giving advice to other artists' moms, and running her son's career like a boss. But by the time Polo G tried to drop Hood Poet, everything started falling apart. The family was breaking down in public, and it all came to a head in early 2024. That's when Stacia got into a fight with her own daughter, Polo G's sister, Leilani. According to Leilani, she pulled up to her mom's house on Easter and got disrespected right away. She said Stacia started clowning her appearance in front of everybody, saying she hated her hair. Leilani said she told her mom it hurt her feelings, and that's when things got heated, real fast. Leilani says her mom attacked her and things got physical. Court docs later said Stacia pulled out a gun and fired shots in the house. Stacia didn't deny it. She even posted online saying, "You damn right I blew that motherfucker. I never said I didn't." She said it was just warning shots to protect her grandbaby and herself. She didn't try to hurt nobody. just scare them. But the situation exploded. Polo G started texting his mom in anger. He said, "Answer the phone, I'm calling you now." Then he told her, "I hate you, I'm done with you for the rest of my life." Stacia clapped back, calling Polo a piece of shit, leaking their text convos, and even filing a restraining order against her own daughter. This was the same woman who had once managed Polo G's entire career, who helped make him a star. But now she was in the middle of a full-on family war. Polo didn't speak too much publicly, but he did say, "I always try to get in between before it go too far. We family. It's just being broadcast more because I'm famous." But the family drama wasn't just with his mom and sister. Around the same time, Polo's little brother, Trench Baby, was making headlines too. First, he got locked up for robbery. Then, later in 2023, he got charged with murder. And the crazy part? People had been warning about Trench Baby for a while. He was using Polo G's name in the streets to set people up, allegedly robbing producers, YouTubers, and even industry folks. One content creator said Trench Baby told him Polo was pulling up to the studio, but when he got there, Polo wasn't there. Just Trench Baby with 2 guns. He robbed him, then made him wire $50,000 on the spot. Then LAPD raided Polo G's mansion in LA. They found a whole stash of weapons, guns everywhere. They took Polo and Trench Baby in. That's when Polo started tweeting, "Rap got so lame and watered down, it ain't no fun in it no more. After this album, I'm considering retiring.